From your hairstylist to your housekeeper and even your daycare provider, these people make our lives easier all year round. And during the holiday season, we want to say a special thank you with a tip. But who gets a holiday tip and how much? Financial professional Cathy DeWitt Dunn from DeWitt Dunn joins us with her guide to gratuity. But first of all, the most important thing I think we should mention off the top is that people need to budget this in. They need to say, okay, how much can I afford, first of all?
Absolutely. I think you have to look at your entire budget for the holiday season. That includes gift wrap, cards, and everything, because this is a really nice thing to do for people if you can afford it. And I think sometimes people want to know what the guidelines are,
right?
You know, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
All right. So who do you tip extra and how much? What's the standard?
Well, I think one of the things is if you take a look at child care and nannies, and you know, these people are very important in our lives.
Right.
And on average, I think with babysitters, what you want to probably take a look at is probably tipping them maybe one night, you know, worth of income, an additional night, or you know, your nanny a full day. So it really comes down to maybe a little teeny present along the side from the children, but they can make something. You don't necessarily have to spend any money on this, but it is a really good guideline for people that may want to know what they should tip. So once again, for babysitters, you know, one evening, an additional evening of pay, and for a nanny, probably a full day's pay.
Well, and you'd mentioned that it's even possible to have the kids make something for them or do something nice like that that would be special to them as well.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important, and that's a really special touch this time of year.
Right. Okay, so cost of service is our next one here. So that's the haircut, the manicurist, those kinds of things.
Yeah, and I think on average, what I've been seeing in all the recent surveys is that it's just an extra tip of a full service.
Wow, which seems like a lot.
It really does. Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, these people are working around the holidays and working for us. So, you know, if you just tip them an additional service that you would usually get, I can assure you the next time that you have an emergency, they're going to be available like, oh yes, please, book them, I'll stay late.
And so they're all especially busy this time of year too. So I'm sure it means a lot.
Absolutely. And I think that they'd be very grateful for this.
Absolutely. Okay, so who do we have next?
Well, the thing is that delivery services, and this is something that popped up that I wasn't really familiar with, and I guess, you know, a lot of people have relationships with their FedEx or their UPS driver in the
always
neighborhood.
The same guy.
Yeah, it's always, and they always do a great job, and sometimes they do a little extra for us or bring the boxes in our house. So on average, if we take a look, you know, we're thinking of probably in the neighborhood of $15 to $25 and a nice little thank you card. And if you can't afford that, maybe, you know, a little, you know, a gift card from Starbucks or, you know, one of the coffee houses, just so they can go in and feel appreciated during the season.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. And then the other thing is restaurants. This is really big this time of the year, and I love going to restaurants, and for service, I always tip very nicely because, you know, these people are putting probably you know, they're giving up a lot to be there, and it's usually late hours, etc. So on average, it's usually 20 to 25% at this time of the year. And one of the things, if you go to your local diner, if you go somewhere that's not very expensive throughout the year, maybe you give them a 40% tip, because you know the I guess the average ticket wouldn't be as great during the year.
Right, you may spend $5 to $10.
And that is going to make your server's day.
Yeah.
And they're going to remember you forever. So these are just some of the people that we need to be thinking about during the holiday time, and what we should be looking at as far as percentage of tip.
All right, Cathy, great information. We really appreciate you coming on our show today. So great to see you. You can find all this information on our website as well. That's fox4news.com.